Well, look, you know what? I missed it, but I'm going to come back to it. Somebody asked a direct question, and it's about time we started answering them. If you were manager, would you sell Rashford, Mark? And I think this is a question I could easily ignore because I'm not the manager. Ten Hag's the manager. I also know he's not for sale, and United don't want to sell him. So I can sit and hide behind that and say, he's not for sale. Whatever we think doesn't matter because he's not for sale. But when I read a question where somebody says, if you were the manager, would you sell him? Then I've got nowhere to go other than to answer that. And I could have easily ignored it. But we don't do that on here because that's what we do. It's what we've done for 10 years. We answer the big questions. Some people skirt around it. Maybe I've been skirting around it the last few weeks, but I'm not going to skirt around it. If I was the manager of Manchester United, would I sell Marcus Rashford? Brilliant question. And every one of you can answer it yourselves. And you know what? Really like the player. Have done for years. Loved it when he came through. Him, Martial and Greenwood, I was so excited about. I was like, oh my God, what could this be? And they had that great season. But things change and it's not personal. And I look at it from a footballing point of view. I could look at it and go, Marcus Rashford and the people he's got around him are very brand sensitive and they won't like it if I say sell him or you say sell him. But we're talking hypothetically here. I know he's not for sale. I know he's going to be here next year. I hope he scores at the weekend and I hope he scores 40 goals next year. That doesn't bother me. You know, I'm not saying I hate the player. I'm not saying I dislike the player. I'm not saying get out of my club. I'm hypothetically answering a question. If I was the manager, would I sell Marcus Rashford? And the answer is, depends what the offer is on the table. I'm not selling him for 50 million. I'm not desperate to sell him. 75 million, let's sit down and have a chat. And if I sit down and have a chat with the player and he says, I'm interested, I would probably sell him. And the reason I would sell, you see, there's a way of answering questions without it being get out of my club, you fraud. Like, I actually, if the right offer came in, if someone offered me £100 million, I'd seriously consider it. But £75 million, I'd sit down with the player and I'd say, because I don't know, I'm the manager, but I don't know what the problem is. I'd ask him, why the year before, why in the last year of Ollie and why this year? In the last 3 years, you've had one good year. You've sandwiched it. You had an amazing year. You won Player of the Year. This year, you've been terrible. The year before that, you were terrible. Why? Why is that? Honest, hands on table. Why? Because he could be saying to me, I desperately don't want to go. Please don't sell me. And I'd say, right, okay, this is your chance. Tell me why two of the last 3 seasons, you've been really bad. And then one of them, you were amazing. Tell me. If he says to me, I'm inconsistent, I'm probably selling him. If he says to me, I've had issues, these are the issues, and I can solve them, I'm probably keeping him. But I don't know why he's had 2 bad years in 3. And I don't know why he had an amazing season in between. But as a manager, I can't keep a player that I can't rely on. He's inconsistent. So that's a big, big concern for me if I'm a manager, honestly speaking. The second thing that's a big concern about me is I just don't think he's creative enough. As on a purely footballing level, he's not creative. I would not want to play that style of football where my winger gets the ball and isn't creative. He can score a brilliant goal. His shot is amazing, as we saw in the game against Man City. He's got a bloody good shot on him, but the attacks break down with him a lot. That's not how I want to play football. And I'd say to him, look, I don't mind you having a shot when you're in a good position to have a shot, but I don't want your first thought to be a shot. So honest answer, anything around 75 million, I'm having an honest chat about it because the consistency and the creativity concern me.